Hey, welcome back. So we're going to add some music to our menu system and all the way through the game. It's going to be persistent music. I was playing Escape Plan on the PS4 the other day and it just struck me that the fact the music starts when the game starts and then continues through as you load levels, etc., just really bonded the whole game together. So I've decided to show you how to do that here. So we're going to add a music player game object and then we're going to add a music track of our choice. And then use a command called gameObject.don'tDestroyOnLoad to prevent that music from stopping playing, or said differently, to make it continue playing when you load the next level. Then we'll test it all and we'll be done. So let's take a look. First thing you're going to need to do is source a relevant music track. So why don't we just do that straight away. So freesound.org would be a good place to go for that. And you want to look for songs with the Creative Commons license. So let's go to freesound.org. Here it is. So in order to download a track from these guys, you will need an account. So just create yourself an account and you will have to activate that account by email. So once you're logged in to freesound.org, you can tell I'm logged in because my name is here and I have a logout button. Then search. I'm going to search for something like game music. Now, before you get too excited about anything you find, I would click the Creative Commons license button. First, you want to be filtering for Creative Commons tracks. Then look down and try and find something you like the sound of. What does Grasshopper look like? Not much. Okay. What does Happy 8-Pixel Adventure sound like? That's pretty cool. I quite like that. Is there anything else? Nodens, is that more appropriate? Okay, that's pretty good too. So that one is, how long is it? About a minute by the looks of it. If I click at the start, about a minute, and this Happy 8-Pixel Adventure is 1 minute 52. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Happy 8-Bit Pixel Adventure track. Just, it's a bit longer, it's going to loop less often, and I don't know. Who cares? Just pick a track. So click on it and download. You'll get an MP3 file, in this case a WAV file actually. Here's a WAV file. WAV file is going to be a bit big. How big is it? 40 meg. Oof, 40 meg's a little chunky. So what I'm going to suggest is either grab a different sound, which I'll try while this downloads, or if you do want to go with a WAV, I would convert it to an MP3, because at 40 meg that's going to slow down the loading of your web build quite a lot really. So let's try this one, Nodens, which was my second favourite choice. Now that's only 795k. So look, it's entirely up to you. If you can be bothered to convert your WAV into an MP3 and try and get it a sensible size, which really means less than a couple of meg, go ahead. I'm going to stop this download and I'm going to go for this other song just because it's smaller. Okay, so it's Nodens Field Song I'm going for, which you can get from Freesound. There it is. I've downloaded it before actually. So what you need to do next is drag it into Unity. So you won't have a sounds folder yet, so it can go straight into the assets folder. Here it comes. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. Boo. Done. Fantastic. All right, so I'm going to be tidy and make a new folder called, well, sounds. We'll put all our sound effects in there. While we've got the inspector open for this sound, you see up on the top right in the inspector, when clicked on the sound clip, it says 3D sound is ticked. Well, if you want to untick that, then that would be more appropriate for this game. I'll be doing that later in the project, but this is a good time for you to untick it, then it'll come out of both ears at a more sensible volume. Now, looking at that file name is pretty disgusting, really. I can't really understand what that's talking about, so I'm going to say, I don't know, BG Music or something like that. And then I'm going to leave a bit of the original file name on so I could find it again. Imagine I come back to this in several months and think, what the hell is that music? Where did I get it from? Well, at least I would be able to find it by searching Nodens Field Song. You'll probably also find, when it's finished reprocessing the sound, that if we look for that in our file system and then take a look at the file, that it'll have some sort of, here you go, metadata on it. Video game music, slow electronic song, it came from Freesound. So here you go, this is your best way to get back to it if you ever wanted to. It's all in the metadata. Cool, so there it is, we have a sound. So the next thing we need to do, given that we've got a sound in Unity, is firstly make it not a 3D sound. It's going to make volume management easier. This is a 2D game, we don't need a 3D sound. So turn that off and apply it. I'm sorry if you've got a slow computer, this could take a while to process, but mine's quite quick, so should be okay. Bang, done. All right, now what we need to do is go to your start menu, because it's there that we want the music to play for the first time. Create an empty game object. Call it, I'm going to call it music player. I'm going to use a space because it's clearer. Now, this will only save if you specifically hit return up here. The way that you know it's saved the name is because it'll change in the hierarchy. So I have a music player game object. Now I can add the sound to it. Just grab it, drag it, and drop it on the inspector or on the object itself over here. And it will add a component called an audio source. It guesses what you mean by saying I want to drop it. I'm going to reset the transform of this. So click on the transform of the music player and reset. Because you really want all game objects that don't have a physical location, a physical meaning, to be at the origin, just for tidiness. I'm actually going to move it up immediately under the camera, because it just, to me, makes sense. You've got the camera and the music player. I'm going to quarter the volume from the word go, because it's background music. So before I even test it against sound effects that we will add later, I'm just going to make the volume a lot quieter. And now I'm going to make sure that it plays on the start menu. Great, so it plays without deafening me. So of course, if I was to click the start button, we change scenes, but no more music, right? Until we get back to the start menu. So that's all very well, but we want the music, we said, to continue through all the time. So how do we make that happen? Well, that's where our cunning game object .don't destroy on load comes in. Where is it? Here. I said we were going to show you this yellow command, game object .don't destroy on load. So let's do it. Where do you think that's going to go, that script? Where do I write the command? Where do I put the script? Well, it's about playing music, so it's going to need its own script, its own class. So let's make that. And I'm going to call it very imaginatively music player. We typically do, when we have a single script component on something, we typically call it the same thing as the actual object. You know, if you had a paddle, you'd call it a paddle script. If you had a ball, you call it a ball script. You know, if it's a dog, call it a dog at the end of the day. When you start adding multiple scripts, multiple components, of course, you need to think about your naming more carefully. So we name this script with a capital M because it is a class, and no space because we're not allowed spaces. Cool. Now, where's it put the script? Good thing is it's attached nicely to the music player. Bad thing is it's gone in the root of assets, so let's tidy that up. And finally, let's get into our script. By the way, eventually we're going to play with real blocks. This is all preparatory work. So this is a static method of game object. So don't worry too much about what that means at the moment, but it's something that takes in a game object instance and makes sure that it does not get destroyed on load. That's what you need to know. So I just want to take a moment to explain even more clearly exactly what this game object with a small g thing is. If we look at our start scene here, the game object is the music player. It's the instance of the music player. You can see it there in the hierarchy, and in terms of what's in the inspector, it's the whole thing, the music player and all its components, such as transform, audio source, and the script attached to it. So that's what game object is with a small g. So here it is. Having saved that script and go back to Unity, what happens? Well, let's see. Click play. Now click start. Pause it so you can hear what I'm saying. Now we're in the game scene now. We're actually in level 01. It does not reflect in the top of Unity during play mode. We're in play mode, but we are obviously in the level 01. And look, over here in the hierarchy, we have a music player. It's moved through, it's continued through. So let's just watch the entire cycle. Fantastic. So we're nearly there. The music player is continuing and persisting through all of the scene loads without any interruption, which sounds really good and really coheres the game together. One little problem is that when we arrive back at the start scene, if we do go full circle, a new music player gets created. So let's look at how to stop that happening.